Because of the way the universe is created, we each of us live in two worlds at the same time. We have to live in the outer life of our own bodies and the inner life of our own souls.
Hello and welcome to Living in the Inner Life. I'm Chris Sheridan, and I want you to join me on a journey of discovery and exploration into the inner life, this interior experience that we have with our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, our dreams, emotions, everything that we've come to know and learn in this world, which is how we take in and interpret and respond to the things that we encounter in the outside world. It's a two-way street. Both these worlds, both these lives are existing simultaneously and they work together. Sometimes it seems like they work against each other, but things come in from the outside world. We process all that in our inner life and we respond out in the outer world and it comes back in again. But my premise is, and this is based on over 40 years of research and study, I have a couple degrees, and I have come to the conclusion, it's not my conclusion, but through many sources throughout history, this goes back a long, long time, philosophers, ancient wisdom, religious, spiritual, scientific traditions throughout the ages have also touched on this idea, some very explicitly, that it is more important what we do with our inner lives to have an effect on the outer experience that we have in the world. The temptation is to try to change the things out there so I can feel good in here. But if you can work on yourself, establish this connection, this relationship, this dialogue that we have with our inner selves, our innermost self, we can not only encounter things in the outer world much more easily, we can also be more effective on how we are able to perform and live our lives, both inner and outer. Okay, now it's been said that the grass is always greener on the other side. This is an old quote, and I think it has something to do with envy. You may see your neighbor, and to use the metaphor, their lawn, and it may look better. Now, we can always look at somebody else's life and say, well, gosh, they have more than I have, or they have it more easy than I have it. They have it better. They have a better relationship. Oh, look at their life. It looks awesome compared to mine, especially. We can get in this comparison game. And that's really at the root of envy. We even say you're green with envy. So this grass, this green envy, gets used in this comparison game that we play. Now, we can't really judge somebody's insides by observing their outsides. And nowhere is this more true than in the world of social media. People can take pictures of themselves. They can be on vacation at a beautiful spot and time it just right, get the lighting and the filter and all this processing maybe that they do, or maybe take 100 pictures to get that one that's awesome. And that's what you see when they post and you go, wow, I wish I could look like that, or I wish I could go to that place, or I wish I had that car or was in that relationship, or whatever it is. Not knowing or realizing that maybe that person spent 4 hours just trying to get that one picture, or they have a $5,000 camera and lighting system in their bathroom to get that selfie that looks so spontaneous, okay? And who knows what's going on inside their lives. No matter what great things they can share with their outer experience, we have no idea what's going on in their inner lives, okay? So be careful what you're envious of. If you wish you had somebody else's life, or maybe the things that they have, you may get something you don't want, okay? So be yourself. And if you see somebody who is in a position or station in life that you would like to be in, instead of being upset with them or envious or wishing you were doing that, work on yourself so you can get there. Every minute you spend is in a way, wasted time because it doesn't help, and it's certainly not helping your cause. All right? So this grass is always greener quote may have a lot to do with envy, but that's not really what I want to talk about. Actually, I want to talk about the grass being greener because that's the part where you water, okay? The grass is always greener where you water it. This is true with grass. And it's also true with your inner life. It's also true with your total life. What you give your time, energy, emotional attention, presence, your gifts, everything that you give to that will grow. So the question is, what are you watering? Okay? What are you spending your emotional and physical energy, your time, and efforts? Where's this focus of your attention going? All right? Now, to keep up with the green grass metaphor, say you are watering your grass and you're wondering why it's not growing, or maybe only a certain amount of water is coming out of the hose. Well, that's because you probably have a leaky hose. Even when you resolve to say, well, I'm going to focus on myself, or I'm going to focus on my project, or I'm going to change or improve this part of my life, and you give it some attention and some water, there may not be enough coming out of your hose to sustain it or to improve it. All right? And this you may be because you have a leaky hose. And often we don't realize that because this attention leak that we have, this sieve that's sapping all of our good emotional energy, sometimes happens automatically. It's habitual. Maybe it's an old tape. Maybe it's a way of thinking and feeling that you developed a long time ago, and you're not even aware of it. Okay, so that may be the first step before you start directing your thoughts and your energy towards yourself or your project or whatever it is you want to improve or develop or grow, as it were, with the water. Take a moment and pause and look at where you already are spending your attention. Chances are you're not aware of some of the things you're dedicating and devoting a lot of your mental energy towards. It could be anger towards the government. It could be anything else really in the outer world that you could be giving this time and attention to. So check in and become aware of that. Try to shore it up. You may be surprised. You may be shocked. You may be actually disappointed when you do find out what you've been doing all this time, wondering why you're not getting enough water to grow your grass. Okay? Go back, look at your hose. Make sure it's attached to the spigot. That means it's attached to source. And what is source? It can be anything and everything that you rely on for your personal power, your personal strength. It can be a spiritual belief in the great beyond and what's out there in the infinite, or it can be your higher power within, this infinite within, this better part of ourselves, or what Carl Jung called the self with a capital S, this transpersonal, individuated self, the self that's bigger than you are, more than you realize, that knows more than you know. So to be connected with Source, which is something we all need to do, and reconnect, reestablish this connection. It's whether it's a Wi-Fi signal, or you're plugging something into the wall, or you're attaching a hose to a spigot, or really what you're doing in your inner life, we have to make sure that this connection is strong. Now, next thing you may want to do is check your hose for blockage. Okay? There are things that we throw in our way, and much of the time it comes from the outer world, but we take it in, and that becomes a block. Okay? Well, I've tried to do this before, and it didn't work, so why would I want to really try to do it now? Even if you don't consciously think that, that may be going on under the surface, under your level of awareness. So to make sure that when you're connected to Source, that you have a clear pathway to get to where you want to go. because to water your grass, to grow it, you have to have a few things. Yes, a connection to source, which is what we have. We just have to make sure we are reconnected with it. Source is fine. We need to make sure our connection is established and maintained properly. So you have the source to get the flow. Then you have to have the direction. Where are you pointing? Where are you directing your energy, the best of yourself? Okay. And how long? There's a length of time. How much time are you spending watering your grass? Okay. And with what intensity? So all these things are going on, and anything can reduce this intensity, like a blockage, like a weak connection to source. But I think what happens more so, or in addition to that, that can be more detrimental, is this leaky hose. It leaks out little bit by little bit. And if you have enough small leaks that go on for a long enough time, it can really reduce your personal power and your effectiveness in getting the things you want or improving your life in the ways that you want. Okay, so shore up these leaks. Now, what are they? They could be, like I said before, about a past experience. Maybe there's a wound and you're revisiting that. Maybe it's an old leak that you haven't properly patched up. And you have to go back and say, okay, I don't want to devote my time and my energy towards this anymore. Maybe this injustice happened. Maybe it happened a long time ago. Maybe it happened yesterday. Maybe you were the victim of something. Honestly. Maybe you have a resentment or a regret with something you did that later on you think that you shouldn't have, or maybe you didn't do something and which you regret not having done. Okay? And yesterday doesn't matter, okay? We're not worried about that. That can leak your energy. It can suck the power out of whatever it is you're trying to do. Same thing with tomorrow. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. Any worries or anxieties, fears about the future are just as dangerous and detrimental as regrets and pains and licking your wounds of the past. All right? There's no room for that now. If something happened, it happened. If somebody did something bad to you, that happened. That's terrible. I'm sorry that it did. And that must feel really bad. But try to pick yourself up and not water that wound. It's called nursing a grudge for a reason. Okay, and nursing, you're giving it care. You're keeping it alive. You're giving it this attention. That's kind of what nursing is. So if you're nursing a grudge, you're carrying it and keeping it alive longer than maybe it naturally should be. Okay? Same thing with the future. You're worried about making the wrong move, what could happen tomorrow, an appointment you have next week, something with a doctor or the dentist, or facing another day of being frustrated and stuck where you are. Don't worry about that. This isn't tomorrow. This is today. This is in the now. Try to be fresh with your thinking and your feeling. Shore it up. Make sure there's no restrictions or blockages, and keep working on these leaks. Any kind of jealousy, or getting back to this envy, I think it's been said that envy is between two people and jealousy is between three. Either way, those suck your energy out, okay? So actually do not do that. You may not know you're doing that. You may not realize you're doing that. And sometimes we can defend these leaks, these old wounds. Well, this happened to me and that shouldn't have happened. And this person wronged me in this business deal or in a relationship. Maybe it was something a parent or a teacher did when you were a child, and you're still suffering from it. Okay? And this is what Buddhists call the second arrow. The first arrow is the arrow that somebody shoots at you. Wow, that sucks. That hurt. I got wounded. They shouldn't have done that. Ouch. The second arrow is when you keep that alive. Yeah, remember that last year? Remember that 10 years ago? Geez, 25 years ago, that somebody shot an arrow at me. Well, they're still shooting that arrow at you if you're doing that in your mind. You're repeating it. That's where the word resentment comes from. It's a sentiment, a feeling, and then you re-sentiment, this resentment, and that is you doing that. So you don't get hit by the second arrow by anybody else other than you, even if the first arrow was shot by somebody else. Okay? So keep that in mind, that you're not perpetuating an open wound which will leak your energy and the power that that energy has, just like a hose would. And then as you get this shored up, as you get the blockage cleared and the leaks fixed, you now have a hose connected strongly to source that you can direct where you want to go. Now, at this point, where are you directing it? Okay? And how are you getting this water, this energy spread out? If you try to cover too much, more so than the amount of water you have available, you're probably not going to be as effective. Okay? Your grass might get a little bit greener, but if you have such an area to cover, you're not going to get any part of it very green, very well taken care of. So try then to focus what it is and where it is that you want to direct this growing, this nurturing energy towards. You can have too many things going on, okay? And there can be indecision. I talked about that in the last podcast, that if, yes, I know what I want to do this. Well, yeah, I want to do that, but I kind of want to do this too. And well, I want to learn how to play the lute and, but maybe I shouldn't do this and maybe I should do that. Okay, how's that watering going? Not so well at this point, okay? Be clear on what you're doing and focus on that. Try not to cover too much ground, whether that's the literal ground that you're trying to grow grass on with this water that you're shooting at it through your hose, or if you're trying to water something that you want to do inside. Okay, if you want to make more money, if you want to be more efficient in the work you're already doing, okay, don't focus then on the problems beyond finding a way to understand them and work towards a solution. So when I say don't look at the bad stuff or don't focus on a problem or don't look at the past, what I mean is look at it only enough, only the amount that will give you an understanding of it, and then know what to do, and then set off, and then don't go back, okay? That's all you need. So maybe you spend 1 minute working on the past and the problem, and the other 59 minutes in the hour working on where you want to direct this energy. Now, we also have lives that take our energy, that force us, command us, demand of us, that we give here and we give there and we water over there. A lot of it's for other people. A lot of it's for work, to just get by in the world. And a lot of it's just to maintain our own physical being. You have to sleep, you have to get up, you have to wash, you have to eat, you have to do all these things. And there can be very little time left at the end of the day to work on yourself, your own personal self-improvement, whether it's an interior thing with your attitude or your beliefs. You want to improve your positivity. You want to be more positive instead of negative about things. You want the glass to be half full instead of half empty as you go out in the world. The demands of life can take a lot of this energy, take a lot of our water. So try to consider what I think it was in the New Testament, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto God what is God's. That is, pay your taxes, do your duty, go to work, take care of the things that you need to do, but always save something at the end of the day or at the beginning in the morning or points throughout the day where you can work on the good stuff, okay? And that's where you want to water your grass because it's good stuff, okay? You have good stuff. You have something good to give your best to. A lot of times we're just exhausted. We've given our best. We gave at the office, and then there's nothing left at home. Give what's necessary at the office, or to Caesar, if you will, and keep. Because it's sacred. This is important. It's just as important to work on yourself in a very positive, proactive, growing, development kind of way as it is to give your money and your time and your efforts and your good stuff to just the fact and the act of daily life. Okay? And that may come to a sense of value for you. Maybe sometimes we don't take our own goals seriously enough, or think, yeah, I'd really like to do that, but I don't know. At my age, it's kind of hard to start something new, or I don't know anything about that, or there just isn't enough time in the day. For most things, there's time. You can make time, find time, demand time. Cut out that 1 hour. Cut out 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there of what you're leaking your energies towards, and take that for yourself. Okay? You're worth it. It's that important. And then your neighbors will see how green your lawn is and go, geez, grass is greener over there. Okay? Now, you can take this, and I know it's a metaphor with watering the grass, but it is true. This is your energy. This is your life energy. Okay? There's so many demands being pulled in so many directions. That's why to have a clear goal, even if you have 10 goals, pick one at a time and be clear about it. Also be clear on why you want it. Okay? That will help keep you on track and keep the focus on what it is you want. Remind yourself why you want this, why you want to improve yourself in this way, and how important it is, how precious this fresh water is to nurture this important part of you. And don't give it all away, okay? Give away what's necessary. We all have to. Keep some for yourself, because that's important too. And you know what? That will inspire others. You can share how you got there. People will see the results of your labor, and you will find a more balanced, more enriched life when you're doing whatever it is that you need to do to maintain and to honor your responsibilities and honor yourself in a very good way, in the capital S self sense of the word. That's not too many S's. Okay? So shore up your hose, connect it to source, remove the blocks, and patch up all those leaks. Pick a direction, focus on that, and watch your grass grow. All right? Well, thank you for spending time with me and a little bit of focus, and we'll keep growing together here on Living the Inner Life.